today we are going to talk to you guys about our
Plans
super
for next
exciting. Yeah. We're super excited about next year.
Yeah.
You know, like obviously we haven't been making these videos for very long, and we're just kind of trying to get sharing our garden with all you guys. But one of the reasons why we started making these videos in the first place is how excited we are about our plans for next year.
Yeah, totally. We got a lot of like big ideas that we want to come through with because, we really want to see just how much food we can crank out of like this relatively small area.
Yeah, it's exciting to see if, we can do like the true homesteading idea.
Mm-hmm.
And, like Ian always says it, we're not homesteaders until...
Yeah, till we have chickens.
And one of the complications for us is it's illegal. You're not actually allowed chickens here.
Yeah.
So we have been trying to work on a solution for how it can be, like the most neighborly situation possible.
Yeah, totally.
And we think we've come up with a pretty good idea. And we hoped to get the chicken coop built for this fall, so we're ready to go in the spring. But, I guess
Yeah.
you add that on to our fails
Work
list.
calls and you gotta, I'm the one who's kind of responsible for the bulk of the construction and stuff. So, obviously if I'm not here, then nothing's getting done. But, we'll have a chunk of time in the spring to catch up. We'll just have to, bang off a lot of projects.
Yeah, we have a lot kind of on our plate for next spring because, like we briefly mentioned in the other video, we're also planning on doing an extension on the front of our house. So that's going to be a pretty big construction project.
Yeah. And then also
we can test the classic theory of can a couple renovate together and still stay in love?
Yeah. Well, we'll be back in love once the renovation is done.
Yeah, because we'll be like, oh my god, it's so nice. Second honeymoon.
Yeah. Our house lacks a sizable kitchen.
Yeah. We have half a galley kitchen, which is pretty difficult with kids.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm sure you've seen in any of our like videos where we're doing any sort of food stuff, we're always at that table that's just mounded with food because literally that's like the only usable space in
That's
our
our kitchen space, yeah.
So
this is our kitchen table, so you see all the time people like on those real estate shows, they're like, oh, I don't know, this kitchen is so small, and you're like, I'd love to have a kitchen that size.
yeah, so, once we get a little bit more kitchen space, it's, I mean, that in itself is going to add to the utility of the garden. Because one of the things that limits us in being able to quickly preserve up our food is just, you need to make a space in the kitchen just from like the day-to-day stuff to then go even further in to do canning and things like that. So.
And what's underneath the kitchen? Our brand new cold storage. We're building like a massive cold storage as well, which will give us the opportunity to like build specific shelving for storing, things like squash, right? Stuff where it can sit and get like air coming in underneath it so that it doesn't just like sit on some like wooden shelf or concrete floor and just start to like rot instantly, right?
Yeah.
So
yeah, we're definitely gonna having that improved storage space. Everyone laughs when we told them that we're like, oh, we're super excited. We're gonna build a basement for like a cold storage. And they're like, you're gonna build like a 500 square foot cold storage? And we're like, yeah. They're like, that's not gonna help your resale value. We're like, well, we're never moving.
Yeah, we're just doing the renovations to fit our lifestyle, right? So everything, because we plan on being here forever.
Yeah.
So
like, we're gonna live to be like healthy 80-year-olds is the plan. So, that's like 50 more years of like utility out of a cold storage.
So we're setting up shop.
The other thing that comes out of that we're excited about is we're going to create like a pretty complicated, like true to books permaculture style food forest in the front yard. You know, we're sad about taking down our really beautiful maple tree.
Yeah.
You know, our neighborhood doesn't really have a lot of big full-grown trees.
Mm-hmm.
So it's going to be sad to bring it down. But we're going to plant a cherry tree.
Yeah.
And 20 years from now, we're going to have like an awesome, beautiful, full-grown cherry tree. So that's definitely worth it.
Yeah, totally.
And then, you know, like it's going to be super fun to have that space to, you know, work on those like understory style like layers that you build up in like the permaculture fashion, you know. And right now we struggle in the front with moisture just because the tree's so big that it steals any water that we put down.
Yeah.
And it actually, the canopy covers the entire yard, so any rain that falls actually falls outside of the yard. So losing that tree is, you know,
It's
really
gonna make the area productive.
yeah, and we're gonna fill it. We're gonna do the true green mulch, you know, get some of those nitrogen fixers in there. So
Yeah.
we're really excited about what we can get going in the front. Just, you know, beautiful and, you know, just a great demonstration garden too to, you
Yeah.
know,
And the
people walk by.
deer are gonna love it.
Grrr.
We have deer already in our backyard, so, and they've pulled out stuff in the front yard, and they
Ugh. It took
So-
us like, we found this sea kale plant. Took us like years. No one in Canada like grows them. And it's very complicated to ship living plants
Yeah.
across the border. And yeah, a deer came and like ripped it out of the ground.
yeah.
It
But
survived, but
yeah, it's grown back. For a while there, we thought it was dead, and it was a very sad time.
I don't know if you know this about us, but we don't like deer.
So where our greenhouse is now, and there's a parking spot right next to it. That used to all be kind of like a parking lot. You could actually park like 5 vehicles in there, 5 trucks you could park in there. It's quite a good sized space, but we are digging up the other half next year. So this year, half of it went towards the greenhouse space, and next year the other half is going to be like a raised bed with like a trellis type construction.
Yeah, we're hoping to do something that's not only functional but pretty back there.
Because it'll be like the back side of our yard, right? So, you know, it'll be a nice boundary for us to look at, like a wall of green.
It was amazing how much the greenhouse increased our production this year. So getting another space like as big as the greenhouse or bigger,
Yeah, it's slightly bigger.
is gonna really add to what we're capable of producing. You know, I don't want to necessarily do anything with the grass area that we have right now, just because we have the little kids. But, you know, getting that area turned into garden, you know, and with the raised beds too, it's going to be a good area for them to still be able to play, right? It won't be like how our main garden area is now, where we don't necessarily want them like going in there because of the damage they can do. So it'll be like a fun tag zone for when the kids get a bit bigger. And, you know, it's really going to be exciting to see what we can produce.
Totally. So with all of our big plans next year, I mean that you should hit subscribe so you can, you know, join our journey, check us out, and follow us and hold us, you know, hold us to our promises.
Yell at us if we're not doing all the stuff that we said. Yeah. Be like, when are you going to show us how to build a chicken coop, guys?
Thanks for watching.
You guys, it's really cold out.
Yeah.
We don't like this winter thing. We're summer people.
Well, we are Canadians, so our version of summer and winter, you know, are skewed to Canada's summer and
Yeah,
Canada
but
winter.
we're Kelownites, so
Yeah.
we get like nice hot summers, and we don't normally get
Yeah.
winter this early.